Welcome back to the 200 challenge, where we have found 254 kilos so far. So I should really have called this the 300 challenge. This time around, we're going to do what they did on the 964 Cup cars. And what they did on those was that they reinforced the suspension mounts for safety and for stiffness, which means a lot of welding. We're also going to fill in the final gaps on the panels on the roofs. I'm going to figure out exactly where the seatbelt needs to go, and of course cut away everything that I don't think I'm going to need on this car so that this car can go for its paint job. Before we get started, I wanted to get a little bit of inspiration, so I visited my good friend Jan-Erik here, which has a really special 964. This one was done up by Call 911 in Poland, and it's really a beast. For this episode, I'm going to look at some of the aspects before I really paint the car and get that done. So especially I want to look at the undertreatment they did on this car, the seatbelt installation, and some of the seam welding. Let's have a look. So this car is somewhat famous, at least in Sweden here, so I wanted to give you a little bit of a tour what this car has, because I think a lot of you will be interested. Let's start in the front here. So of course we got the big reds, can't do without those. Got JRZ suspension here. This is, it might be the best you can have actually for these, or in the range at least, with the external reservoirs of course. So something really cool. We got a slim package here in the front. Jan-Erik is running with the spare wheel here right now just to get a little bit more weight in the front, testing out a little bit. Of course, we got the camber plates up here. These ones come with the JRZ, really nice stuff. So in the back, of course, got the big reds as well. The JRCs or JRZs, they're up here. And we got a really nice one for car graphic here. Only the best for this car. And the JRZs, the RS, they come up here for the expansion tanks. Looking in the back, this is actually a genuine RS engine. Not very easy to get a hold of one of those nowadays. With the MAF kit, some cosmetic upgrades, looks really nice. Together with a very matching tag. Wow, look at that. So specifically, I wanted to look at the under treatment that they've done here. And it's not an undercoating per se, it's really a paint that they've applied. And it gives you a little bit of surface, and it's super hard, and this is called Raptor. So some people, they paint their entire car with this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give this as a protective coating on the bottom of the car. Looks really nice. And on the inside, full of goodies, of course. We got the CAE. I'm going to have this as well. Mine is orange in the top, though. We got the tillet seats, the carbon fiber, FIA approved. Really cool. And a little special here as well. Got a little bit of Alcantara there. Another cool thing, and this I think is a must. A super-sized granny mirror, really good. Got the carbon fiber roof exposed as well. And another thing that they did here, which I think is pretty cool as well, they've taken the Raptor on the inside here. It's not all over the place. It's in some areas here, and in some areas it's just got the clear coat. So as we see the different areas, we see different treatment. So it's got a really nice blend of how you get the things together. And how you really make the most out of it. Also wanted to have a look at the seatbelt installation here, because what I did previously with my car was I had the seatbelt in the chassis of the seat, and that's not very good. So of course, as you install this, the first one here is going to go in the original bolt. That's good. I need to fabricate a mount down here so that it goes down into the floor. So I need to do something similar to this. And over here, I need to drill in the tunnel to get a seat there. So I need to figure out how to do all these things, and the best time to do that is while my car is still naked. Body-wise, this is a pretty lightweight car. We got carbon fiber wherever we can fit it. Carbon fiber here. We got it here. Really nice transition that they've done here from Call 911. Really sweet. We got the DP doors. Actually, all the carbon fiber here is from DP Motorsports. Really nice stuff. I really like the design of these doors. Got the integrated mirrors. The ones I have are going to have external mirrors, but design-wise, they're going to be similar. Carbon fiber here. Got the hood, of course. So this is a pretty lightweight animal. We weighed it in at 1081, so it's pretty good. The windows is another thing that I wanted to look a little bit at. My window installation is going to be very similar to this, with a little hatch here, get a little bit of air in, and this really nice flush mounting here. This is something really cool, and I'll have to figure out how to do that, as well as do the same thing here in the back. So some goodies with this car, a lot of inspiration for me. So you might wonder how all this started. Actually, how it started with Jan-Erik was just going to change this in his car. And it ended up with this.
Yeah.
In my case, I was just going to put in a roll cage. And you see what I've done now. Slippery slope. So I'm going to start filling up the gaps and the edges on the new panels here. So I have here, and I have here, and of course up here, I want to have it just as nice as it was on Jan-Erik's car. So I'm going to start with a glass fiber filler here first, just in the bottom, and then I'm going to put something finer on top of it, grind it down in between, clean it off with acetone before I do that, and we see how it looks. This process is not difficult at all, it just takes a lot of time. Applied one time, took off the high spots, trying to feel where I am. I need a little bit more here, I need a little bit more here. This is almost good, need a little bit more towards the gutter here. And I need a little bit down here, strangely enough. This is perfect. The one on the front, perfect as well. Apply a little bit more, get this done, move on to the next step. I need a little break from doing all the stuff on the outside, so I'm gonna get at the welding. So I have a little guide here. This guide here shows where you're supposed to make the reinforcements for that the Cup cars had. This is twofold. This is stiffness. It's also safety to make sure that when you have a really super stiff chassis that you really have the support from the car. So I'm going to start on the inside where it's easiest, and then I'm going to go under. The whole purpose of this here is that these areas here, they kind of tie the body together, and especially these areas around here. This is actually where the suspension mounts in. So we're going to go below the car now and do the same kind of procedure there. Looking from below, we can see that we did come through a bit here, which was the intention. So this whole area, all of this area is what ties into this, which is the suspension. So now we're going to run a seam here, and we're going to run a seam here to just try to stiffen that one up. There's a few other ones that we have to take care of while we're down here as well, and I'm just following the guide. And there we are after a few hours of playing around with the welding nozzle. I think I did somewhat of a decent job. I didn't follow the guide exactly on how to do this, but really the goal is to stiffen this piece up here, give it some extra rigidity, also for safety. I did make some mistakes when I was welding, so I have tried to clean up a little bit here. I will need to ask for some help as well to from someone that is a little bit better at welding than what I am. This area down here is mainly for stiffness. There's also areas up here that they've labeled in the guide that these are for safety. I guess this might crack in some circumstances. I'll need to do some touch-up work here because this is something you're going to see. So it's the morning after. I had some time yesterday, Friday evening, to look at Renlist, and I was Googling on 964 seam welding, and I found a fantastic thread from Jeffrey. And this led me to believe that I actually need to continue this seam welding and do the rest of the entire car. Some quantifiable differences apparently with the stiffness you get from just going from the spot welded chassis to some intermittent seams. So what I've done is I've welded left side, right side, trying to alternate the area where I welded a little bit, not to build up too much temperature in the metal and to get any distortions from that. And I'm putting about 25 millimeter seams with a distance of 25 millimeter in between. Seems to work well. And this is the final result. Started in here, connecting the beam to the outside wall here. Connected here, got some decent welds done here. Some of them I need to work on. Connected the cross member here all the way in. Did a little bit of seam welding on the bottom here as well. It's very difficult there. Over on the other side, I did the same thing. Went all the way in there. I had some issues here. Continued over 25, 25. And I spent a lot of time at fixing the engine mount a little bit firmer, going side by side with a lot stiffer engine mounts. That force needs to go somewhere, and I know that this is an area that is sometimes prone to cracks. Now that I've done this, I've taken care of most of the back of the car here. I think I need to continue in the front, so I'm going to do the front, around the suspension towers, around the steering, everything there, and then I'm going to do the mid-body as well on the inside of the car. So let's have a look. What I plan to do in the front is just intermittent seam welds around all of the intersections. So that's here, that's on the inside, and then I'm going to move to the mid-body and just do the areas where kind of the center beams and the mid-beam tie into the rest of the body. Let's have a look. And it was going pretty well there for a while until I ran out of gas. So I did up this area down here. Turned out pretty okay. Did up this area here. And I was continuing down here. And then the machine started acting all crazy. So I figured out that the gas is out. So I'll need to do a supply run. So before I go and do my supply run, I wanted to get the holes for the seat vent mounts in. Previously, I had my bottom mount here in the GT3 mount inside the seat, and I had my inner one here. So with this fancy instruction here, it says that this one should go there, and this one should go there, and the third one should go there. So I'm going to drill some holes, do a mock-up assembly, and we see how it looks. So there's not more to it than this. I got my 2 points here now for my bottom harness. I got the new one there. That is going to take my 3-point harness and one of the hip ones. And I'm going to reuse this one together with the point for my 3-point harness as well. Going to do the same thing on the other side some other day here. And with that, time for supply run and finish the welding. So I finished my supply run and I've replenished the gas. So I'm going to get going here in the front. Anything connected to the suspension or anything connected to the steering, I want to stiffen up. So that means around here, this beam here, and anything going in that direction. Been fighting with this for a while now. It's a little bit tricky here because the plate thickness varies a little bit. So I've reinforced this beam here all around the suspension, the things that goes down to the steering, all the way on this side here. I might do a little bit further down here. I'm not going to do that today. And I might do a little bit around this area here. But all in all, I think this is sort of the methodology. Again, some of the difficulty is that the plate thickness varies a little bit here, so you need to go up and down a little bit on the MIG. Another challenge with this is that even though this body has been acid dipped, there's still a little bit of filler in a few places. And when you have filler there and you try to weld over it, it doesn't get good contact, and then it just starts moving around and it's really difficult. So let's go over to the mid body and see what we do there. And what I'm going to do here on the inside is I'm going to connect here. I have heard that there are some weaknesses in the seat mounts here, so I'm going to reinforce that a little bit. See if I can get under here. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. And up here to really connect this here. I don't know that I'm going to do so much more. Perhaps connect a little bit here, since that's kind of where the two pans tie together in the tunnel here. Let's get at it, see how far I get. Okay, I've done the first pass at this. Let's have a look, shall we? The beam and the floor here, I've connected that with the floor pan a little bit better. The floor pan as well as the center tunnel here, put those together. It's a little bit challenging up here because of varying plate thickness. Down here, it's challenging in general. I put the forward beams together here as well. And on this side here, I added some stiffeners to the seat belt or the seat mounts, because those are prone to cracks apparently. And I put the body together here. I tried to stiffen up in this area here, but it's really difficult because of how my cage looks. And all in all, I think I did a decent job at this. There's no point where you say, I'm done now. You can keep at this forever. I think I'm done on this side right now. If anyone has any recommendations on some spots that I just have to do, then please write in the comment field and I'll take care of that. Haven't done the other side yet. I will do that some other day here. Need to focus on some other stuff. And yeah, that's about it. This was quite a weekend, wasn't it? I started off with filling up the panels, and I think I did a pretty decent job on that. As you run your fingers across it, you can feel that it's smooth, so I'm pretty happy about that. The weld job is pretty tricky. It's got every little conceivable angle you can come up with, as well as you got the seam filler that messes up the contact so that the weld starts spattering. That's pretty difficult, as well as the varying plate thickness in some areas. I will need to backtrack for some of the welds that didn't turn out perfectly, so that I'm happy with those. Not too many places though. I am a novice at welding. People that are better at this, they would surely do a better job, but I'm still pretty happy with what I did. What pains me though is I didn't find any weight saving this time around, but that just means there's more left for the next time. Next time around, we're gonna do some engine stuff because I need a break from all this body stuff. For those of you watching, thank you very much. Subscribe to my channel, comment, like, do whatever you want. Your feedback means a lot to me. Thank you very much.